Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for attending our online template orientation. My name is Dr. Gonzalo Perez, and I'm the Associate Vice President here at the college. I first wanted to introduce myself and my team members. So I came from New Jersey. I've been here for about 4 months. I used to be the Chief Innovation Officer there, worked there for many years as a dean and also director. And my PhD is in computer science. Basically, it's in the biometrics security area, and I've been teaching courses in cybersecurity, system analysis, and many computer science courses over my career. So I'm excited to be here and excited to oversee the online education or distance education program. And today we prepared for you a very nice, succinct presentation regarding the process we're going to ask people or folks that are teaching online courses to go through to make sure that we are following guidelines and being compliant with the various regulatory bodies that are out there. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Luke Owen, who is going to introduce himself, and also we'll have the other team members say hello.
Okay, my name's Luke Owens. I started here at CCC about a year ago as the librarian, and a few months ago I became the distance education manager, so I'm in charge of the TLC and all those functions. Before that, I was a public librarian for many years. I learned web design and ran a website for many years there. And then before that, I was a grad student for far too long. And during that time, I taught many college courses, some of them online, way back in the day, like the early 2000s. And so that's experience that kind of comes to bear on what we're doing here. Pass it over to David.
Hi, my name is David. I'm new to the team. I'm the new Adam, same guy, but really different. Anyway, I came from education for the last decade. I've done admissions, academics, financial aid, and I've also been a help desk support for NAU's ETC consortium. And I have a lot to bring to the table, and I'm looking forward to working with everyone, and I have a great team, and I'm really excited to be here.
Hi, I'm Meredith Munger, and I've been in the TLC for over a year now. Basically, I suppose you just find that I'm the jack of all trades. You need something done if you just want to have graphics done or need help to put your templates together or are really curious about, I don't know, learning more about distance education. I guess I'm your person, and that's about that.
Thanks, Meredith. Hi there, I'm Tom Tarbell. I've got about a year in the TLC and related experience. Got quite a bit of Canvas course shell work and a lot of other related material that'll help out. Look forward to helping you.
I'm Adam Gifford, full-time economics faculty here at CCC. I've been teaching online since 2003, and I'm one of the first faculty members to go through the online template orientation. So I'm here to kind of be the cheerleader.
Okay, great. So you had a chance to meet our team, get a little bit of their background, and actually find out what they're going to be doing with the TLC. So we did the introductions. So a little bit of the history. The TLC was formed about 4 or 5 years ago thanks to a grant we received with the goal of supporting faculty members and helping them build online courses. And that's basically the role within the college, to provide support either with people or with resources that we'll talk about in a minute to help make your online class more engaging and help you with anything you may need with Canvas. Hours of operation, we're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. You can stop in at any of those hours and there'll be somebody there to greet you and support you. I'm working on some possible evening support, so I have a person that I hired through AmeriCorps partnership, and I'm going to try to get that person to work 1 or 2 a week between the hours of 5 and 8, because we know some part-time faculty are working full-time, and we want to be able to provide support in the evening so they can come in and get some help. If outside of that scope, additional support is needed, we have actually contracted with Canvas to provide additional 24/7 support specific to Coconino. So when we call the phone and we call Canvas, Coconino pops up on their screen and they know that we're calling, they know our needs, and they know our kind of setup. So you get one-on-one support from Canvas with this additional support that we purchased if it's on the weekends or really late at night. So that's a really good feature that we have. And if you're feeling antisocial one day, you don't feel like speaking to someone, you can always log in and do a chat instant messenger with a support person from Canvas, and they'll help you as well. So we have all these different ways to give you some help. Now, spoke about the resources. We have resources both with technology and also service. So we have laptops, iPads, and Dell tablets that you can come in and borrow. Just sign them out like a regular library, take them home. And if you need those resources to help with your classes, we're more than happy to provide that support. We also have a bamboo drawing tablet, which is used for grading and other types of design features. That can be borrowed as well. Or if you wanted to use that in the TLC, we have folks there to help you and guide you with that as well. We have 7 workstations that we just refreshed. So I think every 3 or 4 years we have a lease, and we just got workstations, and they were just installed. And we have specific design and development software that will help you in your online course for development and design. So that is all fired up and ready to go. And we also have webcams and microphones. So if you feel like doing a lecture and you want to record your lecture and have it posted in Canvas, you don't have to do it on your own or use your cell phone or try to figure it out. We have state-of-the-art equipment to help you with recording your sessions and your lectures and then helping you posting it online, which students really like. You know, they like to read, but they also appreciate watching videos of you getting in front of the classroom and lecturing and talking about a specific subject. Next slide, please. Thank you. So I'm going to talk about and provide a context as to what's been done. I arrived here midsummer, so when I arrived, I was basically joined the summer ad hoc committee that was formed, both with faculty, administrators, and staff. And the goal was to come up with a plan moving forward to standardize our process. The first thing we did was we applied to AZ Sarah. So I'm going to pass out AZ Sarah. Can you please pass this out? So this is a regulatory council that was formed years ago. And this council was formed to make sure that a student taking a class anywhere in Arizona, taking a class in Nevada, taking a class in Utah, were afforded the same experience across all different institutions, even if it was through states. As you can see in the first page, we have some of the approved institutions. We have Arizona State University. We have now Coconino Community College. We have also NAU. We have Pima Community College, University of Arizona, Yavapai. So you see all the big names from the state have become members of this group. And we were just approved last month. And we actually drove down to Tempe, myself, Dr. Gardner, and Dr. Merrick, our director of IR. We had to submit our application, and we also had to provide a narrative as to why we should be part of the team, the membership. And we basically were approved without any questions, without any type of reservations. There were other schools that were there, no names mentioned, but they were not approved because they were missing or they came up short in certain categories. So that's a great first start because that elevates our distance ed program to a higher level, and it now will help us with HLC compliance because our visit is due in 2021, and it shows that we're taking appropriate steps towards being compliant with regards to distance ed for HLC accreditors. Some examples of some schools that you may know of, one of them is in our backyard, Scottsdale Community College. They tried to expand their online courses, and they were denied by HLC. This is like late-breaking news in the past few months. And the reason why they were denied expansion of online courses is due to collaboration. They were not able to produce enough proof that it was a collaborative process when they tried to expand their courses. That's why we have these open forums Tuesday and Friday, inviting faculty and everybody else to come in to learn about what we're doing, to provide feedback, which we will then incorporate into our template and make sure that that is part of our process, to have collaboration and input from all stakeholders. Western governors got slapped with a whopping $700 million fine for not complying with various online distance education requirements. And there's an example of a school that, just did not have any type of process or any standard template that would ensure quality of their distance education program. And you can see what happens when that is not adhered to. So we're doing a lot of preventative, proactive, and collaborative work to make sure that we are on our way to a world-class experience for our students. Also during the summer, we developed an online policy. It was actually sent to the board this past Wednesday, and the board unanimously approved that policy. So that has been approved by our district governing board. We also have a procedural document and a department guideline document. They're in your packets if you want to review them, just to kind of see what was done with the committee over the summer. And then after that committee was pretty much done, the efforts of distance ed was transitioned to me, and I've been working with my team to come up with a plan, and this is the plan that we've established to move forward to implement all of this work and take us to the next step, which is to implement this online template for our distance education teachers. So I'm going to pass the next slide over to my colleague Luke, because this is a collaborative process as well, this presentation. So Luke, take it away.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk about Quality Matters. Quality Matters is a nationwide collaborative of schools and universities, and they've come together and created guidelines for best practices in online education. And their work, their documents are really the inspiration for what we've done with our online template. CCC has been a member of Quality Matters for many years. All of you with your coconino.edu address can go into the Quality Matters website, create an account, and use all of the resources and things that they have on there. And there's great stuff like recorded webinars that you can just click on and watch. You can also attend conferences that they have and workshops regarding best practices. So again, we've used that to develop the template that we have. The Quality Matters guidelines are in your little packet. They look like this. There's a bunch of them. And the template process that we've created is really just the first stab to kind of cover this. But what's happening, we can go to the next slide actually. What's happening with the template is we're kind of building in a lot of these Quality Matters standards to the template so that faculty, when you're going in and building and designing a course, you don't have to remember to include all these different things. Just going down really quickly, does the course have an overview and an introduction, right? So our template builds in a Start Here page that takes the student through step by step the things that they need to know or reference or know about to begin the class. That includes things like what are the technology requirements for the class, what are the technology procedures of the college, what is netiquette and how do you, not be a jerk in your online class. All of that is in there. All of those are Quality Matters standards. It's also giving you an easy way to connect your learning objectives and your course outcomes with particular content throughout the course. Other things on this list are assessment, instructional materials, course activities and interaction, and learner support and accessibility. Not all of these things we can control with the template, but again, it's the sort of first foray and a start. So what the template is again part of this collaborative course design process where we're providing a nice looking homepage, which David will demonstrate in a second, that links to the most important parts of the course for the students, the Start Here page that gives them the background information they need, and what am I forgetting? Oh, introduction and concluding pages in each module that begin the week's work or the unit's work for the student, kind of introducing the new concepts. Here's what's going to be involved in this unit or this week, and then concluding, here's what you learned, here's the outcomes we hit this week, and so on. Why are we doing this? Part of it is copyright and accessibility. When we started having conversations about these things, we started realizing that our online courses needed a little bit more commonality. And we want to improve the user experience for students, so we want there to be a kind of similar structure to all these courses that we're offering. So, a metaphor to kind of explain what I'm talking about. Everybody's got a cell phone. My wife and I have exactly the same model iPhone, exactly the same OS on it. Driving down the road, my phone rings. My wife is disgusted by the sound of the ringtone that I've chosen. And I'm driving the car, and she's like, I'm gonna change your ringtone. Is that okay? Well, yeah, whatever. Change my ringtone. So she opens up my phone, and she's gonna go look for the settings app, right? So right away, she's like, what? Where is your settings? And I said, oh, I think you got to scroll over a couple pages, and you'll find it. And it's just silence, and she's looking at me like I am a crazy person. And she says, what is your settings app doing? Not on the first page. Your settings app goes on the first page. Like, well, you know, it's my phone, and that's how I've set my phone up. I'm sorry, but you know, it's there somewhere if you look around for it. And so that's just a way of illustrating that we're all on Canvas. All these courses are offered in the same environment, but because we all have different ideas about how we want to lay things out, a student, a user, could have a really hard time finding something basic within or between all these different courses. Okay. Oh, and now I'm going to turn it over to Meredith.
All right, now we come to the fun part. Course mapping worksheet. I guess where we start is with the why. Regulatory necessity. Working with faculty closely in the TLC, I've noticed that there's a lot of inconsistency between different classes, as Luke was already talking to you about, but also that faculty will be building their page slowly throughout the semester, and that sometimes they wind up forgetting some things that they wanted to do at the end, and they wind up scrambling, and it kind of makes like a bigger mess for themselves and for their students. And when we actually use the course mapping worksheet, the whole class gets to be laid out, and you actually get a good picture of not only what we're going to be putting on the course, but really what you're going to be just trying to get your students going with too. All right. Also, doing the course mapping worksheet helps in documenting the collaborative process. Well, we get to go back and forth and see what actually goes into creating a course. And also, it's all going to be documented, so later on, like if you're not going to forget anything too, you're going to have it all available. And also, we're going to be able to keep track of making sure that we got everything done for you. And you know, sometimes more than one head kind of put together makes for a better process for sorting out things like a class anyway. All right, another reason is for aligning to HLC, SARA, and Quality Matter guidelines. Actually, all three of those documents are in your packet there, and a lot of what we wound up doing in creation of the template was pulling from all three of those documents and trying to help out making sure that a lot of these things were covered that you guys weren't going to have to entirely worry about. Like, we'll worry about some of those hard parts for you. But you know, we got to make sure that everything is working as far as courses being accessible, and also just making sure that well, that we'll do a line to the HLC. Oh my God! All right. So the evolution. The joke that we've been telling each other is, in the beginning there was chaos. A couple of years ago, faculty, they were just kind of just putting together the courses the best way that they thought that they could get them together. Did anyone have an experience when they were first starting to do that where they felt lost in trying to put together their first courses at all on Canvas? Yeah. Well, this is, again, a good way to make sure that we have all of our T's crossed and our I's dotted. This is the one that we have now is the evolution of the first one that we had put out, which was very long, very brightly colored, and could take 4+ hours to complete for the course, and that's before you even got to start building anything for the course. This, the new one that I've been helping to create, 2.0, is more streamlined, more user-friendly, and by putting in a buildable module so that you guys can actually see what that item is going to look at, I'm hoping that it's going to help you visualize the completed course a little bit better than the other one. All right, let's see. It also allows for better collaboration and more one-on-one customization. I've added a whole bunch of options based on feedback that I've received from faculty, and then also, I suppose, ourselves reviewing it too, and thinking like, well, maybe they need to have more options for doing their banners at the top of their pages, or talking about the third-party vendors that are going to be in there too. And also, what parts of it that you guys want to do. It's like, do you want us to like help in creating all this content for you with the information you're giving us, or do you guys want to do it yourselves? And then have us like help you and go through and check that everything's okay afterwards. All right, well, I guess that kind of leads to the whole part where the TLC can create the items, or you guys can. It's about the level of support that you guys are going to need in order to get your courses to the same place that, you know, well, we want to have a lot of consistency throughout the different courses. So I'm just going to try to help to get you guys there. Let's see. And again, like I already mentioned the third-party software, but
So again, I'm Adam Gifford, full-time economics faculty. So I was one of the first faculty to go through this whole process, and by an economist, I am naturally against any kind of change ever. And I saw this and thought, I've been teaching online for 15 years. I know how to design courses. Why do I need to do this? So I begrudgingly sat down and went through it anyway. And as I went through and sat the process, it actually made me look at my course holistically. And I realized that I didn't like how my courses have always been designed. And I went through and I used the module process that the TLC showed me. And after the course was designed, what happened was I realized that this is going to save me a tremendous amount of time, because I can now take my course, which I've designed as a 16-week course, and easily just flip it around and make it an 8-week course, or a 12-week course, a 5-week summer course, a 10-week summer course, with a couple minutes worth of work, and it's ready to go. Whereas before, changing around any of the timelines took forever. So I guess I was kind of changed with this, and I do think the process works, and I'm looking forward to using it for all my courses.
Hey guys, so I wanted to talk to you about kind of where we've been, where we're at, and kind of where we're going, just so you could kind of get a good demonstration of what that is. So a big thing with Canvas and student interaction is getting the consistency of getting, going back to quality matters, getting that consistent user experience for students, also that ease of user experience for faculty. So that's what we're trying to do here in the TLC, is create that experience. So we're going to show you a pre-template of what a course kind of looked like, and then kind of show you exactly why we want to make it a great learning experience for everyone. And so this is GO 133. It's a course that's there. As you can see, it's laid out. You come to a home page. There's a lot of information, a lot of data, a lot of stuff. If you're a student and you're getting into this, it's a lot of information to have to read through at once. And all the stuff is here, and it's just kind of all there. And it's not very easy on the eyes. So you really want to create a great experience for students, as well as our job is to make, honestly, it easier for faculty. So we're going to help you guys design the courses and help build those pages, and then you guys are then going to put the content in the pages and customize it to your liking once you're inside the template. And that's what I'm really excited to be here for, and me and my team, we're looking forward to working with all of you on that. But as you can see, it kind of clumps together. And could you actually click on the assignment tab a second? Let's take a look at that. Okay. Where is it? It may not be there. Let's go to modules. Yeah, where is it exactly? Oh, there it is. So in the current setup, a lot of the assignments, a lot of how the instructors do it, it's all like, you know, they have it labeled weeks and stuff, but it's all kind of clumped together. So you can't really get a good organizational thing if you're a student. Say you missed that week of work and you're trying to catch up, or you're trying to see what assignment you're going through. And even from a instructor point of view, trying to look at this and figure out where to go in and edit your assignments or figure it out, it makes it really difficult. We want it to be easier on the eyes. And so what we're going to do now is go ahead and go to the CC100 and show you what the template is and how it's going to benefit students, faculty, and everyone moving forward. So here's a template. You open it up. Real nice. You get a picture. This could also be customized, I believe, to put a certain type of picture, what you want. But let's go ahead and click on Start Here. And so when you're a student, you start here. You have everything laid out. You have basically the place where you could introduce yourself. You have the course syllabus. You have all these steps lined up, so it's not just a clumped amount of information. You actually have really neat headers with titles and things, library resources, a lot of school technical support, a lot of things like that. And it really, it just looks much better. And I mean, I know if I was doing this, I'd want something more like this rather than something that's just a bunch of information. It's like, whoa, this lays everything out. So whether if you're a student that's more linear and you like to read through stuff, this is great. But it also gives you the option, go ahead and click on the home button. It also gives you the option, if you're not a Start Here type person, you click on the modules. It opens up. And you have all these modules opened up. On the top here, you have instructor resources. You have student resources within Canvas, and those will come stocked with your template. And then this is the bread and butter of what we're trying to do here, is creating each week. And what's nice about the modules, some people don't like weeks. Some people, you could call it whatever you want. We could call it a chapter. We could call it a section, a unit, week. It really depends on the type of course, but kind of piggybacking on what Adam was saying, being able to take that information from that week. If he's teaching a 16-week course, he could literally go through and say, I want week 1, week 3, week 8, week 12, and week 14, and I'm going to put that in my 5 or 6 week course. And we could import that much easier rather than having him go through the assignment tab and it all being kind of clumped together and him having to actually think about, well, which assignments do I want to go through? It really makes the user experience friendly. Another nice thing about it is if you scroll up to week 1, there's a little collapse button up here. Now, I do want to mention, because we did get a little bit of feedback on the collapse and expand. Some teachers don't want to see that information because it is a lot. You could collapse it. Now, the trick is you could log off that particular computer, come back, and that information will still be collapsed or expanded, however you're liking, but it's only on that particular computer. So that's something to keep in mind. So if you switch to another computer, where if you're a faculty and you're in your office doing it, if you head home, it's going to be expanded again. So you want to make sure that you have it collapsed on both whatever computers you're using. The other nice feature is the ability to move modules from one page to the other. So let's go ahead and move. You could go ahead and either drag it down, or you could go into the edit and basically tell it where you want to go, whether it's the bottom of the page, you want it to go past a certain section. Luke's kind of showing us here that you can move it into a different spot. So the idea is that your present week section, you're going to have that information there for the students and faculty, and you'll focus on that week. In the older weeks, you could just move that stuff to the bottom. If somebody needs it, it's there, but you don't need to worry about it if you're already done with that particular week. So that's the beauty of that. And I also want to go into the introduction and conclusions. One of the things we're trying to do here is create a consistent learning experience and really understand, well, if I'm a student, what kind of learning, what kind of expectations, what am I getting out of this week? What's my outcome? What am I going to learn throughout this week in this particular section? Well, we have that laid out week by week, and you guys could customize that inside how you're liking. Whether it's that week stuff, if you have a particular math class that this is the stuff we're going over, but it's going to lean into next week. You could have the same intro and conclusion for, say, 2 weeks, but then maybe you're changing it up in week 3. Or if it's a class that actually changes the intro and conclusion and the outcomes and objectives, that could change throughout the week. So you have that ability to customize it. We're building the template, but you guys, once you get inside, you're going in and creating and putting your your content and your educational blueprint and thumbprint on these courses and making them. We're there just to assist you in the design part and making sure everything there is to your liking. And I just want to see if I had any more topics that I wanted to cover. Oh, I did. Pages. Let's look at pages, and then we need to also go to Anna's course after. But I just wanted to show you, let's look at the syllabus real quick. So the other nice thing about it is you don't have to figure out where the syllabus is. You could go ahead and click right into it. It's right there. And you know, faculty and students will have access to that. Faculty could edit it, but it just makes it a lot easier being on that page. And then go ahead and click on the home button. And here we have more resources. Any type of resources that you want to add for your students, this is a great place to do that. And we just want to make it easy. It's not hard on the eyes. There's just a few different options. The other thing I wanted to show is go ahead and click into, let's go to modules and let's look at just one of the pages inside there, just to give you an idea of what we're talking about, that we create the header in the module, but then you guys are creating the content. So here's a content page. So we're basically going to have this built, but then faculty are going to go in and add whatever content they want to that page, whatever assignments, quizzes, you know, etc., is going to go into these pages. So we'll have the header built for you guys, and then you'll go ahead and build whatever you want. If you need additional support, that's what we're here for, and we're going to make sure that we get it up to your liking. So that's what we're here to do. Let's go ahead and go to Anna's class, English 102. This is a kind of progression as far as where we've been, where we're at, and kind of where we're going, just to see. And let's go ahead and click on modules. Actually, let's click on start here, sorry. But the idea is, you know, creating a warm experience for students to come in. You know, I believe you have a choice also if you want to post a video, but you don't have to. You could put your picture up, give a little description, instructor bio, and kind of the same idea, the whole start here. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit. Yeah, that's her charming introduction. You guys could read that on your own. But yes, and then here's all the information, nicely laid out, your textbooks, all the information, nice big bold titles and wording so you could see everything, really easy on the eyes. A lot of the resources that the school offers, really important stuff. Let's jump into the module real quick and just take a look at one of her assignments. Could be anything. I'll let you pick. Sure. So yeah, so you can see, you know, we created the discussion with the template, but she went ahead and put in the instructions on what she wants out of it. And that's the beauty part. We're trying to make this easier for faculty so that we're going to create the design, but then you guys are going to go in and put the type of content, the type of objectives you're looking for, whether that's you know, introduction, conclusion, or objectives, or outcomes. So that's all going to be there. And then, of course, if you need any assistance building that, that's what we're here for. So that's all I got. It was a pleasure talking to everyone on the video world. And I'm going to pass it along.
Thanks. So this is going to talk a little bit about the schedule and how this whole process is going to work. I'll put up the schedule in a second, but let me just say real quickly, you're going to receive the course mapping worksheet. We will contact you if you're teaching online in the spring, send you the course mapping worksheet at that time. You can start working on it in conjunction with looking at your course outline, getting your syllabus in progress, and creating your course schedule. Having all those things kind of as works in progress will make the course mapping worksheet relatively easy to fill out. So before you meet with us in the TLC, you'll have the course mapping worksheet done. We'll get it back. We'll build the basic structure of the course, and then we will meet with you to look at that, see how that's going, and make a plan as to how we're going to proceed, who's going to build all the elements, what template elements will be where, and so on. So we'll reach out to you to schedule those appointments, and we think the process should be complete within 3 meetings. Another one of those things we'll do with the initial meeting is discuss expectations, so who's going to work on what and how we'll go forward. Let's go ahead and do the schedule. Yeah, just click that link. So this is a rough schedule, and when we first started this process, it had September, but I've had to scrunch everything into October, November, and December. You might see your name in here, you might not. Another thing we realized was that we created the list in September, but a lot of the courses weren't assigned yet. So we're working on this. Again, if you are teaching an online course in the spring, we will come for you. Right? We will reach out to you and start this process. Our hope is to do a bunch of these courses each month. We've changed the process considerably to the way it was done and kind of tested out over the summer. Are we 100% sure about how long this is going to take? We're not. But we are 100% confident that we can make this work, that we can work with every faculty member, collaborate on these courses, and get all of the online courses running the template in the spring. So that's the end game.
I also want to emphasize, thank you, Luke. I also want to emphasize that feel free to reach out to your colleagues. You have a few of your colleagues that have been part of the process. Michelle's here, Kim Saunier, Sandra Dillman. These are faculty members that are really advanced in this, and you can share resources and working with the TLC, and then also reaching out to your fellow faculty colleagues, and together we can all work to get this process moving forward and get it efficient.
And I want to add too that the course mapping worksheet that's in your folder is a work in progress. It's been kind of an up-to-the-minute revision process over the last few weeks, with Meredith making lots of changes and great additions. We're looking for feedback. So if you take a look at that and you have some feedback for us, we would love to have that. You can send it to Meredith or... Oh, in the contact sheet, right? Yeah. And then there's a sheet in the folder that has contact information for all of us. I'll show you what that looks like. It's okay. It's this one. It says Canvas really big at the top. It has the 24/7 Canvas number.
My name's in the middle.
And Meredith's name is in the middle. And you can send her your feedback on the course mapping worksheet, or any of us if you want. And also the sample course shells are linked on that sheet as well. So you can go back, look at the CCC 100 course with the template in it, and Anna's course and all that. They're not publicly available, but they're available to everyone in the CCC group. So you might have to log in to see it first. And then this is the course mapping worksheet. Please feel free to go through and give us any feedback that you have.
So, just want to finish on this last point. Part of the compliance that we need to adhere to is regarding faculty and student engagement. Now, years ago, we had correspondence courses where we would mail things to students, and then they would answer questions and send it back to the faculty member, and then the faculty member would mail another packet. That's correspondence education, and this is not what we're doing. We're doing online learning. So, in my previous institution, we created a form that we asked faculty to fill out, which would ask them to capture all the engagement, all the interaction in the course. It was cumbersome, it was tedious, and it was not user-friendly. So we researched and we found an amazing tool. So mark your calendars, because on October 27th at 10 a.m. in the adjacent room, we're inviting Aspire EDU that has a tool called Dropout Detective. Now this tool is a tool that is a single sign-on, and it's embedded into Canvas, so it's you don't notice it at all. But the goal of this tool is to capture when students log in, when students submit assignments, when they take quizzes, when they write on a discussion board, when a faculty member responds to an email, when a faculty member responds to an assignment or grades a paper. All of this engagement is seamlessly captured by this tool, so you don't have to do any type of work or report or fill out any paperwork. So if HLC comes, or in my experience in my previous institution, the feds came, financial aid, and asked us about online course engagement for 2012. So you can imagine how hard it was for us to produce those documents when it was 5 years ago. So again, we're trying to be ahead of the curve, and with this tool, every time there's any type of movement in a course, it captures it, and then we can print reports provided to the feds or to an accreditation body, and it doesn't require you to do any additional work because it's capturing what's already there. So we think this is going to go over very well. At the SARA conference in Tempe, I spoke to some of our sister schools, and they mentioned that they have this tool, and it helped tremendously with online attendance, but it also helped with retention, because we know through studies and through some research that retention for students taking courses online is lower than students in traditional classes. So we need to find innovative ways to help with retention, so therefore we can offer online classes, increase our scope in the county, but also make sure that the students are successful. We don't want them to fail when they embark on their online course. Additionally, Aspire EDU has a tool in roll call. If you teach a course in a classroom and you use Canvas for your grading and your attendance, you notice that there's a system called roll call which helps you with attendance. Now, they have an upgrade to roll call which allows for greater reportability, greater functionality on that module, and again, that will help if we ever get audited regarding attendance for in-classroom classes. So we encourage you to come, because there are other tools out there that are kind of in trial mode. One is called Starfish, and this may have the functionality of Starfish and more, and it's going to be a fraction of the cost. But the only way we're going to get this to get any buy-in is if we all come to the meeting, we ask questions, and the product should sell itself, because every sister school I've spoken to that's used this has just said great things about it. So we encourage you to come on the 27th and help us with your questions and your concerns and your comments, so we can get a solid tool to make sure we are adhering to the online attendance, and we can make sure we have a good retention rate for our online students. So the last slide is just Q&A, so we'll take a few minutes now to answer your questions regarding anything you may have about online learning. But just know we built a great team of folks who sincerely care about the college, care about student success, and really, really want to work with each and every one of you, our faculty members. You guys, like David said, are experts and masters in your content area. And we want to just promote that with our design knowledge and our development knowledge in Canvas. And I think that marriage is going to help the online program be successful, and we're going to beat out the competition, because there are other schools in the state that offer this, but very few have the quality we're going to have, and very few offer the price point we have. And that's going to help us to increase the market for online education. I wanted to add one more thing and expand on something. If you can go back to the third-party slide. I just want to make sure that we encourage faculty members to utilize and leverage all third-party software that's out there, especially for the math department. They use My Math Lab, Alex, Hawks. I know psychology uses Launchpad. So these are third-party vendors that create software that help students with their homework, help them with applying some of the skills and some of the theory that's in the course, and we want to encourage this in your courses. So if you add a third-party vendor to your template checkbox, we have a checkbox asking you, do you have a third-party vendor? We would just ask you, about that vendor. Make sure we capture support information, because we have 24/7 support for Canvas, but we don't know what the support is for your third party, so we need to capture that information so that we're aware as to who to contact if Alex goes down for a week and you had an assignment that was due by a certain day, and we're scrambling to find out how to support a student using a third-party software. So we want to make sure that we include these packages, we're aware of support, and we also want to make sure that it is fully leveraged in your courses and it's in the template. So we want to encourage that. Just make sure to give us all the information that we'll need for that to happen. If we go forward another slide, I just want to make sure, one more, and last one. Okay, so the next steps are to make sure we have our course outline. That's probably already done. Make sure your syllabi are in process or completed, and you have your course schedule, and then your course mapping worksheet is in your packet. So make sure that that is actually filled out. If you need help filling it out, please feel free to come into the TLC. We'll help you fill it out. And then once it's filled out, we will call you at a certain point. So we want you to be ready with all of these items in your hand. So when we call you and invite you into the TLC, you'll have all the prerequisites you need to begin this one-on-one meeting that might take about 3 actual meeting times to get the course up and running, get the content in, and then get it finished. And then, of course, we will follow up after just to make sure that additional support is not needed. So that's kind of the next steps after our talk today, is to get these items all in line and have that CMWS, or the course mapping worksheet, filled out before we do our one-on-one meetings. Any additional questions? No? Well, we thank you for your time. We look forward to working with each and every one of you, and we're here to help, and we're really here to support the college as a whole. So have a great afternoon and evening and a great weekend.